Let's just dive right in. Artificial intelligence, it's completely reshaping our world, right? From the shows you get recommended online to incredible medical breakthroughs. But for any of that AI to actually work out here in the real world, it needs this powerful, kind of invisible engine running in the background. And that engine? That's MLOps.
But here's the thing, and it's kind of shocking. For all the hype, most machine learning projects never actually make it to you. Seriously, they get built in a lab, they look super promising, and then poof, they fail before ever becoming a real product you can use.
So that leads to the big question, doesn't it? Why? Why is it so incredibly hard to take a brilliant AI model from a data scientist laptop and make it a reliable, useful part of our daily lives?
Well, the answer comes down to what we call the AI production problem. You see, building a model in a nice, clean, controlled environment, a data science notebook, that's one thing. But making it work in the messy, unpredictable real world, that is a whole different ballgame.
The problems usually break down into a few key areas. First, you've got environment mismatch. That's where a model trained on perfect, clean lab data just completely falls apart when it sees messy, real-world data. Then you have deployments that are often manual, which means they're slow and full of human error. And then there's this huge one, data drift. That's when the world just changes, and your once brilliant model slowly becomes useless. You mix all that with poor team collaboration and the fact that it's hard to even reproduce the same results twice, and yeah, you've got a recipe for failure.
So how in the world do we fix this? The answer is MLOps. And honestly, the best way to get your head around it is to think of it as the DevOps of AI. It takes all those proven ideas about automation and reliability from the software world and applies them to the unique kind of chaotic world of machine learning.
Okay, so the formal definition, MLOps stands for Machine Learning Operations. It's really a culture and a set of practices that brings together machine learning, data engineering, and DevOps. But the key thing to remember is its whole purpose, to manage the entire life cycle of a model, from the moment it's just an idea all the way to when it's retired. It's the bridge that closes that critical gap between the lab and the real world.
In this comparison chart makes it super clear. With traditional DevOps, you're mostly worried about application code. With MLOps, oh man, you're juggling the model, the code, and the data it was trained on. DevOps checks if the app is up and running. MLOps has to check if the model's predictions are still accurate and watch out for that data drift we talked about. And the feedback loop? It's not just about user comments anymore. It's about feeding new, fresh data back into the system to automatically retrain and improve the model. It's a living thing.
This quote just nails it. DevOps gets the software to you, MLOps gets the intelligence to you, and it does it reliably, and it does it over and over again.
Okay, so let's get our hands dirty. How does this whole MLOps thing actually work? Well, it's all about creating this automated, repeatable, and continuous lifecycle for every single machine learning model. The key here is that this workflow is a continuous loop. It's not a one-and-done thing. It kicks off by automatically pulling in and checking new data. Then it does something called feature engineering. That's just a fancy way of saying it turns raw data into useful signals for the model. It trains new models, tracks every single experiment, and then the best one gets validated. From there, it's automatically deployed using CI/CD pipelines. But, and this is the magic part, it doesn't stop. The system is always monitoring the live model, and the second its performance starts to dip, it automatically triggers the whole cycle to start all over again with new data.
And to make all that happen, you need a pretty serious toolbox. You need systems for versioning your data, just like you version code. You need to track every experiment so you know what worked and what didn't. A model registry acts like a central library for all your approved, ready-to-go models. The CI/CD pipelines are the automation engine, while model serving is what actually exposes the AI to users. And wrapped around all of it, you have monitoring and governance tools to make sure everything stays accurate, fair, and compliant.
This all sounds great in theory, right? But where is MLOps actually making a difference? Let's look at a few examples that you probably bump into every single day.
Think about your bank for a second. Scammers are relentless. They're always coming up with new ways to commit fraud. MLOps allows those fraud detection models to be constantly retrained and redeployed, sometimes multiple times a day. This means they can adapt to new threats almost in real time, keeping your accounts safe.
Or let's talk about healthcare, where the stakes are so much higher. Diagnostic models that help doctors spot diseases can literally get smarter over time. MLOps is the engine that allows hospitals to safely and automatically retrain these critical models with new clinical data, which can directly lead to better patient outcomes.
And of course, there's retail. You know those recommendation engines on your favorite shopping sites? That is a classic MLOps example. They use MLOps to constantly learn from every click and every purchase you make, updating their recommendations to be more relevant to you right now.
So where's all of this going? Look, MLOps isn't just a trend. It's rapidly becoming the standard operating system for any company that's serious about using AI at scale.
And the next wave is all about even more automation and integration. We're starting to see things like auto MLOps, which are basically pipelines that can heal and optimize themselves. We're seeing models offered as simple services on platforms and unified dashboards that give you one single place to see how everything is performing. And maybe most importantly, we're seeing responsible AI principles being baked right into these pipelines from day one.
So when you boil it all down, this is the big transformation. MLOps is what takes data science from being a kind of chaotic, research-based project and turns it into a streamlined, robust engineering discipline. It's what makes the continuous, scalable, and reliable delivery of AI actually possible.
At the end of the day, MLOps is what makes sure the incredible potential of AI doesn't just stay locked away in a lab somewhere. It's what gets that intelligence out into the real world where it can actually make an impact. And as AI becomes a part of everything we do, these practices aren't just a nice-to-have, they're absolutely essential. So the real question is MLOps your next frontier?